Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the main stage of the Business Transformation and Operational Excellence World Summit, where we accelerate culture, business, and digital transformations, and we create environments where great people and great ideas can connect. I am Jose Pires, the CEO of Global Excellence and Innovation, proud to be your host, and even more proud of our next guest who provide us the closing keynote. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicola Hudson. Nicola is here with us. She's going to talk about insights on the journey of Microsoft's transformation. Nicola, we're so appreciative of you taking the time to be here with us and share your wisdom with all of us. A little note, a very brief note on Nicola's extensive list of accomplishments and background. Leading sales and marketing transformation of Microsoft and its customers across the globe as the Vice President of the Field Transformation Office since 2017. She's passionate and experienced in global technology, but also in engineering, where she holds a PhD in materials engineering and an MBA. Originally from the UK, runner, biker, skier, mother of 5 lovely sons. Lots and lots that she has to deal with in terms of management, leadership, transformation in her personal life and career. What a privilege to have you with us. We very much look forward to your presentation, Nicola.
Thank you, Jose. I'm delighted to be here. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you in advance for attending. Today, I want to cover 4 points with you. Firstly, why transformation matters now more than ever. Secondly, our transformation at Microsoft. Then how this enables us to help our customers respond to COVID. And then finally, I'll talk about some things that we've learned along the way. The world we're living in now is fundamentally different than it was even 6 months ago, and will almost certainly look different again a year from now. During these challenging economic times across the globe, resilience has become the hallmark for success. The pandemic also taught us that digital businesses, and those fortified with some digital capabilities, have been able to pivot more rapidly and respond to their customers' needs. We don't know when the pandemic will be over, but we do know that when recovery happens, those businesses engaged with technology and the digital ecosystem will lead the pack. Those organizations have been able to respond quickly as the crisis impacted their industries. They have solid foundation for recovery, and they're already starting to reimagine what the future might bring. They define success differently, and this is no different, of course, for Microsoft. This pandemic has accelerated the long-term trends we've talked about for some years. Think of all those schools, corporations, and institutions who have had to learn to operate remotely in a period of months versus years. Analysts forecast an increase from 5 to 10% of global GDP coming from the tech industry over the next decade, with 89% of CIOs saying they will accelerate their public cloud investments. That's up from 54% of the pandemic. Today, the adoption of data and artificial intelligence is increasingly a differentiator for businesses. We've moved to a cloud-first world. Computing is becoming embedded everywhere. This era of the intelligent cloud and intelligent edge is shaping the next phase of innovation, driven by 3 massive technology trends. First, computing is no longer confined to a device or even a data center. Second, AI, as I just mentioned. And third, the transition from putting the device at the center of an experience to putting people at the center. So the question is no longer where to store the data, but what to do with that data. Those organizations that find ways to generate new customer value leveraging that data will become the industry leaders. The challenge here is that the systems that generate the data also trap that data. Organisations who are able to digitally connect every facet of their business address the 4 pillars of digital transformation. We call this the digital feedback loop, and those 4 are empowering employees with connected collaboration, using connected experiences to engage customers, transforming products with connected innovation, and connecting insights to optimize operations. Now that's a lot of connection, and to do that connection, organizations need a comprehensive offering, enabling their digital feedback loop. It has to span right across the organization, across applications and infrastructure, data and AI, developer tools and services, security and compliance, along with business processes, productivity, and collaboration. Digital transformation is not an end in itself. Organizations who do it successfully have shared values and a culture that embraces diversity, with a mindset rooted in flexibility and openness to new ideas. Purpose acts as a guide. In times when speed and agility are necessary to survive, the company mission becomes a cohesive goal for everyone to work towards, and goes beyond the day-to-day of what people are working on to the why they are working on it, in common pursuit of a collective goal. This certainly has been the case for us. Our transformation anchors in our mission. Let me share a few words about that journey. So the original mission statement for Microsoft, which you may remember, was to put a PC on every desk and in every home. That was arguably achieved in the 1980s, and our mission has evolved under Satya's leadership to empower every person and every organisation on the planet to achieve more. This mission's not simply about the technology, it's about what we and our customers can achieve with it. It underpins everything we do. I wanted to share some of the important elements of this mission, which include ensuring that economic growth coming from the tech intensity is inclusive of every country, community, business, worker, and person, including the 1 billion plus with disabilities. It means building trusting technology and its use, spanning privacy, security, responsible AI, and digital safety. In addition, it means aligning this to our support of fundamental rights, from defending democracy to addressing systemic racial injustice and inequality. And lastly, it means holding our promise on our sustainability commitment. To pursue our new mission, we needed to evolve our culture. Our new culture is built on a foundation of adopting a growth mindset. We believe that anyone can change, learn, and grow, and that everyone needs to seek external and internal feedback to achieve more. We celebrate teamwork and we allow people to take risks. We became, in fact, a learning culture, one where learn-it-alls succeed over know-it-alls. On top of this foundation, we established 3 cultural attributes: becoming customer-obsessed, aspiring for greater diversity and inclusion in everything we do, and working together as one Microsoft versus multiple siloed businesses. If we're successful in adopting these cultural attributes, we believe we can make a difference on the planet. And this approach has helped our employees find their passion and live their unique purpose in supporting our company mission. So we based our transformation on customer and employee feedback. Customers wanted our help to accelerate their move to the cloud and to achieve their objectives. They wanted to be understood, guided, and helped as they modernize and get value from their technology investments. And they looked to us to simplify our engagement with them. This feedback is very similar to what our employees told us they needed in order to better support our customers. We started transforming sales and marketing around 4 years ago, and we've made great progress since. We split our commercial and consumer organizations. We focused on simplification, tech intensity, and customer centricity. And we invested in a new sales culture initiative to change the way we engage with customers and partners. Today, we continue to finesse our business to deliver unprecedented service through connected experiences. That's been all the more important through the pandemic. One of the biggest changes we made was to simplify and map our commercial and consumer offerings to the 4 pillars of transformation. We organised our commercial go-to-market around 5 solution areas to help our customers transform: modern work, business applications, applications and infrastructure, and AI and security. And we created 3 solution areas dedicated to our consumer business. Over that period, we also reviewed every single aspect of our business, and we continued to transform all of those aspects. We aligned all our resources to best support customer needs, which vary by size, maturity, and sector. We took an industry focus to deepen understanding of customer issues, and we revisited sales processes to make it easier for customers to interact with us. We broke down silos to enable collaboration between teams. We aligned seller compensation to the cloud, building on changes we'd already made to our rewards model. Engineering continued to transform, delivering significant innovation in our cloud products. All lines of business, HR, legal, IT, operations, also transformed. We simplified how we work with cloud partners to enable them to build solutions and to scale by creating a single partner organization. And we introduced a new go-to-market model with partners in emerging markets. We also transformed our go-to-market. Specifically, we transformed that to personalize the customer experience, connecting customer data with new AI-powered sales tools, with digital sales capabilities, marketing automation, content management, social selling, and lead generation. We launched a global skilling and coaching initiative to really grow technical and professional expertise and to ensure managers and leaders became great coaches. We moved to an always-on learning culture and a continuous cycle of skilling now available to employees. And we subsequently extended this training offer to customers, partners, and students. Lastly, we introduced a hackathon as a way to help make that culture change happen by giving a place for everyone to come together and experience creative, fast-paced collaboration. So here's an example of how we've changed the way we engage with customers in small business with digital sales. To operate at scale in this space, we expanded our inside sales function globally. We hired around 6,000 people over 6 months. We integrated LinkedIn with both Dynamics CRM and Office 365. Our global demand center takes customer marketing interactions and then connects them with our digital and field sales teams. A global demand center takes response and a global demand center then takes those interactions and follows them through either directly or with the customer success team. Our partners take care of much of the delivery of our services, bringing solutions to life for customers. Today, we're bringing that capability from digital sales to our enterprise customers. Let's roll that video.
Hi, folks. 2020 has brought quite a few changes, to say the least, and sometimes it feels like a new world. It used to be about connections, coffee breaks, and handshakes. Now it seems there is distance and remoteness. But wait, some things are the same. We still love our customers, we're up for a challenge, and we'll go the distance to help others do more. Here are a few simple ways to beam up to the new world. Working remotely can be distracting. The trick is to stay centered. Start with the basics. Have a comfortable working space, the right hardware setup, Teams channels for orchestration, and more importantly, continuously plan your work so that half your work time on any given day or week is spent with customers and partners. It's essential to stay current. Insights on what is top of mind for your customers are at your fingertips. You can view marketing interactions in Daily Recommender or Account 360. We can see that Layla, Vice President of IT, downloaded a paper on Azure migration and attended a webinar. Via LinkedIn Sales Navigator, we can also see Layla's activity. Look, she posted on Cloud Strategy. Wow, clearly there is interest. It's time to connect. Keep it simple with an introductory email to Layla that is relevant and inviting, such as this one. It alludes to free resources and compelling offers. Be sure to leverage your pod and bring them in as needed. Sounds complex? It's actually not. Do it quickly by setting up standardized templates for your priority sales plays using Outlook templates and proactively sharing your calendar via Microsoft 365 bookings. Collaboration inspires creativity, and there is no better place to do it virtually than Microsoft Teams. You can turn on the video, you can share pre-recorded demos, you can flag and save important questions during the conversation. You can even generate the call transcript leveraging Microsoft Stream. But check this out, you can now even whiteboard virtually. Say Layla and team have a few questions, invite them to play along, and that's not all. When done, if you follow up using LinkedIn Smart Links, you can get red notifications and more. Isn't that cool? Change is a given, and sometimes unexpected. Stay centered, stay current, stay connected, stay creative. Be sure to leverage our technology and assets to beam up to help others do more.
Another example of how we digitally transformed is how we leverage behavioural data in a responsible and ethical way, consistent with our company values, employee privacy, and HR policies. We combine data from our collaboration tools with organisational data and success metrics. We use that to collect insights on the impact of day-to-day seller interactions on business outcomes. We then encourage roles across the sales organisation using behavioural nudges to replicate what is going well to improve performance at scale. For people to do their best work, they need to feel that the person closest to them in leadership is supporting them. Over the same period, and drawing on internal and external research, we established leadership principles so anyone in the organisation can lead from where they sit. We started treating management as a skill, not an earned right. We rolled out new expectations for our 17,000 people managers, who account for 70% of the employee experience and are critical to the success of our transformation. We put empathy at the centre of employee communication and asked managers to model the core values and behaviours, to coach using insights, and to show up with care, complementing our cultural attributes and leadership principles. Finally, to make sure everyone is part of the transformation, we launched a sales culture change initiative. We did that to empower every leader, manager, and employee to achieve more with their teams, customers, and partners. We gave them skilling plans by role and the space to learn, to build those new capabilities. We also gave them end-to-end digital tools and agile processes to increase their time with customers and partners. We defined clear habits by role, together with clear expectations for managers, to create a lived experience that brings the culture to life and where everyone can succeed. Of course, we measure progress on our transformation, and we do that using a dashboard that captures several KPIs. And the dashboard we use captures a number of things. It captures training completion and satisfaction by audience. And then we use our connect process out where our managers talk to individuals to see how people are applying those skills on the job. The dashboard measures also time spent with partners and customers and the pace of doing business, as well also as tools adoption and the frequency and quality of coaching between individuals and their managers. We look as well at how managers are driving performance at scale with every individual on their teams. We look at this by area, by country, by line of business and by team. In addition, we run a biannual survey asking leaders, managers and sellers for feedback on their overall experience. And then we use that feedback to drive our change program. I've spoken about mission and how every aspect of Microsoft has transformed, as well as how the various elements of culture support our strategy. And here you can see how it all comes together. So let me now share how this work has helped us to respond to the pandemic, and importantly, how it helped us support our customers. We were able to maintain continuity when the time came to operate remotely, enabling unprecedented internal collaboration and sustaining high-quality virtual engagements. We were able to then be in a great position to help our customers respond and to be best placed to be ready for them when they needed us. One of the things we've done with a special focus is to use Microsoft Teams internally. It's helping us stay productive and informed to drive our culture and to maintain morale. We replaced hallway conversations with Yammer virtual employee fora. Coupled with the changes to our benefits to support mental health, it makes the working from home experience that bit more comfortable. Our technology also helped customers transition to remote work. First-line workers switched to mobile shift management. Teachers switched to mobile learning. Government leaders ran countries virtually using technology. In the US, first responder Team Rubicon became the largest disaster response and recovery NGO. They are managing and coordinating the work of more than 80,000 volunteers addressing the pandemic using our Dynamics for Nonprofits platform. Our technology enabled us to step up quickly to help customers in their own response effort so they could continue to engage with their customers. The Chateau Michel Winery is an example of a successful and rapid customer transition. Within a matter of days, they were able to move 90% of all sales to their e-commerce channel with Microsoft Dynamics 365 Commerce. The crisis has pushed us, of course, as well, and it's pushed us to keep transforming our products, such as Teams and Windows Virtual Desktop, so that we can create the best experiences for customers. This image shows Tel Aviv Hospital using augmented virtual reality with senior doctors confined at home, guiding the work of early and career medics. At Duke University, as the pandemic spread, Professor Randalls and her team partnered with Microsoft AI for Health to transform the scarce resource of a ventilator to share it between two patients. The work took just 36 hours to build a life-saving solution that would normally take around 800,000 computer hours. Let's roll the video.
So this all started very early on in the entire pandemic. You heard in the news every day that there was a need for more ventilators. One of our colleagues wanted to create a device to help improve ventilator capacity in splitting ventilators between two patients. To do that, we needed to run hundreds of millions of simulations that in total required almost 1 million compute hours. We applied to the COVID-19 HPC consortium, and then they paired us with Microsoft AI for Health. They pulled in experts, and they figured out everything we needed for the infrastructure while letting us focus on the science. By Monday morning, we had completed 800,000 compute hours and finished the entire job within 1 week of submitting the application. We used the Azure Cycle Cloud platform because it allowed for dynamic, resilient computing. We were able to get 800,000 compute hours over a weekend. It was pretty amazing to be able to submit for FDA approval less than a week and a half after requesting the compute time. We hope that having a device like this will allow physicians to have a safer way for making these difficult decisions.
Remote work also demands secure and optimized networks. We've been modernizing our VPN infrastructure and redesigning services to support a mobile workforce for many years. The pandemic hit. Our cloud investments in Azure migrations and Office 365 deployment had reduced traffic on our VPN by around 85%. Our cloud-based secure environment acted as a virtual gate, controlling access to applications and services. We were ready to react, and it helped us move a lot faster and be a great partner for others. Today, we're using our Power Platform Return to the Workplace solution to help our customers and our teams operationally manage their return to the office. A great customer example of optimizing operations is Case Western Reserve University. They're using Azure Quantum Solutions to improve healthcare with higher precision MRI machines. Let's take a look on the video.
If you think about MRI today, the problem is that it takes a while to scan. The other problem is that the MRI scans that we do today have limited sensitivity. So we can see some diseases, but there are other diseases that we can't. Our laboratories developed a new way to do MRI scans called magnetic resonance fingerprinting.
In general, we want to make the MRI scan faster and more robust, meaning that we can get good result consistently, no matter where the patient is scanned.
Azure Quantum has really inspired us to look at the future. In every fingerprinting scan, there's actually thousands of decisions that we have to make in order to set up the right scan. Surprising, but the scale of that optimization problem is beyond what we can solve with conventional computing.
Conventional optimization algorithms, typically they have some assumptions. For example, they assume that scanner system is perfect or patient in the perfect position. But in reality, there are lots of confounding factors that may change the signal. If the algorithm does not consider all this, then the result may not be optimal.
We're working with Azure Quantum to use their quantum-inspired algorithms to start to solve these problems.
We provide the question and the target, and they're using their algorithm to help us to find optimal results.
Working with Azure has given us improvement in speed and about a 30% improvement in our precision. The results we're getting are allowing us to see diseases earlier than before and to quantify the treatments that we're giving. Working with Azure Quantum has enabled us to do things that we just couldn't do before. It's really changed the way that we think about MRI scans, and we see a whole new world of possibilities that we didn't before. These results from the quantum-inspired algorithms are going to impact the healthcare of billions of people worldwide.
Our cultural transformation also prepared us well to respond to the pandemic. The leadership principles acted as a values-driven framework guiding decisions. In the spirit of our company's growth mindset, leaders recognized that they're not experts and solicited feedback from public health experts early on to meet employee and customer needs. Leaders rallied globally across the field and corporate, communicating at all levels with empathy, depth and frequency, really bringing One Microsoft to life. We mobilized rapidly for customers, really focusing on customer success. Starting with supporting essential businesses, we prioritized Azure Cloud Access for first responders and emergency services. We scaled teams in a matter of weeks, and unlocked the premium version of Teams for free. And we released new Microsoft 365 healthcare applications, some of which you've seen today. Finally, the desire to make a difference, helping our communities, ingrained in our mission statement, was reflected in an impressive number of local community support initiatives. Looking back at all our transformation efforts and also our response to the pandemic, we feel proud, humbled, and energized by the work done and the market reaction. At the same time, we remain very aware that we need to keep moving. This year has left us very conscious of the uncertainty around us and of the need to be able to respond quickly. We're thankful for the change management muscle we've been growing over time. We're conscious we're in this sprint marathon for some time to come. I'm often asked what we learned from our transformation journey, and I'm happy to share a few ideas today, hoping they can help others. Firstly, investing in change management and communications expertise makes a real difference. Having dedicated people who can help design and implement the transformation and bring everyone along for the journey is critical. Second, this is about building new habits. It's about changing behaviours and having a skilling plan for every role to build the relevant capabilities. Thirdly, it's about designing for simplicity and agility and having that as the guide for every decision we make. That means reviewing every single tool and process. We're adapting the pace of change to meet the new demands of customers. Finally, it's critical to act quickly and decisively and to empower people in the front line, closest to our customers. So, we talked about why transformation matters, how we lead it at Microsoft, and how our culture supports it. Like all great movements in history, successful transformation relies on a sense of purpose, empowered change agents, and the voice of leaders like yourselves to start the movement and create a ripple effect, one person at a time. Thank you so much for your attention. And now back to you, Jose, for Q&A.
Nicola, thank you so much. What a masterclass on large scale transformation and what it takes. We had a number of questions that have come up on the Q&A already online, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And I encourage the audience to ask questions that are most relevant to your context, so that we can share openly about insights that could be helpful to you in your own journey of transformation. So many of you are embarking on that journey right now. So I'm going to start actually with a question from the audience. And you have mentioned, Nicola, a number of great examples on how this Microsoft transformation is really impacting society in very positive ways. Number of medical applications that affect people's lives. I'm curious, and Rick Crane had early on, before you actually showed the videos and some of the material, he had asked a question related to this on what are some examples of these changes that may be visible to customers. And so since you already show a number of those examples, I'm curious, personalizing a little bit more, is there something that as you work through multitude of ideas and implementations of innovation with Microsoft, is there one or two that really resonate with you personally? And that you see, so it could be a medical application or elsewhere, that you have found as a leader of transformation that's really neat to see that we're doing this now for our customers, for society. Is there anything that stands out for you?
I'll give a couple of examples, and you already saw some great ones there, but the ventilator one was something we did in a number of countries, and we did it here in the UK where I am. And it was we did something here in the UK with the NHS with using HoloLens and helping to map the design of a ventilator so that the ventilator challenge could could build, the people in the ventilator challenge could build ventilators much more quickly. So that was pretty inspiring at the start of the pandemic. I'll give a couple of other examples. I was engaged in a local school near where I live, helping them to get up and running on Teams. Their children go to age 11, and the teachers were really toying with how to put remote working together so that they could continue with lessons over the Easter holiday. They were able to do that, and they've had their whole school engaged, and they didn't miss a beat. Again, it's pretty inspiring. Maybe I'll give one more around the retail sector as well. Retailers, of course, have had a very tough time through the pandemic, and they've been able to scale up and down their capacity to meet the market demand, which has been fluctuating quite heavily. So I work with one of the online retailers, ASOS, here in the UK. And they particularly have been able to scale up and down. And it's pretty inspiring. It's similar in a sense to the Azure study that you saw there, but it's pretty inspiring how quickly a retailer can scale up and down. If you think about the sales, the Black Friday events, the way they need to really move very, very quickly, it's very, very inspiring what we've seen there, particularly with some of those online retailers.
No doubt, no doubt. Those are great examples. Again, the other theme that has emerged in the discussions has to do with the fact that not only you're doing this transformation at Microsoft, but then you overlay a global pandemic on top of that. Curious about how the pandemic has maybe shaped or shifted the direction of your transformation.
Yeah, again, I'll give a couple of examples. I think the first I would say is that we thought long and hard about what to continue and what's the right thing to do during the pandemic for our own people, especially when you're transforming roles or parts of the organization. And so what we did in the summer this year is go a lot deeper, and we do go deep normally, by the way, but we went a lot deeper in terms of really making sure that we handled every single conversation, every employee with empathy, with care. We took a lot of time working through that with the leaders, then with managers, so that they were in a very, very strong position to have great one-on-one connections with employees, and that employees could really understand what the change is all about, what's in it for them, and then to be in a strong position to take it forward from there. So that's one example. The other is, I would say, and I mentioned a little bit during the talk, we put a lot of effort into really thinking through very, very quickly what customers were asking us for during the pandemic. And we were able to quickly adapt our sales plays and put them in the hands of our sellers around the world so that they could very quickly be on the pulse with what customers were asking for right then and there. So that they would be the two I'd pick as where we put more attention than ever this year.
Those are excellent examples. One other theme that has been discussed is that change is difficult and transformations can be downright painful because you're becoming something else as individuals, as an organization. Curious if you could share some of those pains that you have to go through as you transform. How have you dealt with that, the pain that is natural when we're having an organization and we have to unfreeze a certain set of values and reshape them into new ways? What are some of the pain that you had to overcome in this journey?
Look, one of the first things to overcome is how to convince people that the change is the right thing to do. And we've spent a lot of time on that, and we refine that each year as we go forward. But really thinking through a compelling case for change and being able to explain that in the eyes of the individual so that they can really kind of get their heads around it and get on board with it. We do that successively through layers of management, but we've focused really hard on that. It's pretty painful, right? Because not everyone feels like the change is good news for them all the time. And so helping people to, and giving them the time to absorb, to ask questions, to digest it all, and then to be able to take it forward is a big one. I would say the second is we realized maybe about 6 months into the start of our sales and marketing transformation that we really needed to go deep and change behaviors. It kind of sounds obvious now, but we were not going to get the change at the front end of our business that we were striving for with our customers and partners without every individual being able to change the way they show up. And we realized that that required a lot more learning. And so we really doubled down on the skilling and the learning efforts that we built out in the organization. And we created role-based plans for everyone in the company. And those plans really help the person to develop those new capabilities. And then we helped our managers. We wanted them to become better coaches. If you think about the change we were driving, our customers were looking to digitally transform their businesses. It's a very different kind of sales conversation. And so to have that conversation, our people needed to be able to talk at the C-level. They needed to be able to talk about the entire transformation of a business and an industry. So they needed to understand, and then we need our managers to be able to coach their individuals through those industry conversations to be able to really drive value for customers. So that was the second big thing I would say that was a lot of heavy lifting and something to pay attention to. I guess the third I would say is when you start to think about agility and the pace at which business moves these days, and it gets faster and faster, of course, looking at every business process that you have and the tools that join those business processes together, it's a pretty uncomfortable journey, and it crosses many aspects of the business. So I mentioned all parts of the business transforming. They all have to work in unison to really drive any of those process changes with real energy. So we've put a lot of energy into that. Again, I would say that's not the easiest thing to transform because you're building new muscles, you're constantly working across teams, and you're having to drive at pace.
That's terrific perspectives. Curious, Nicola. Microsoft is a massive organization. I mean, with an overarching culture, but because of the nature of its geographical diversity, also multi-levels of culture to deal with and subcultures. And we all understand that transformation is certainly not an event; it's a journey. And this journey, I'm not sure if it ever ends. But what are some of the signposts that you're looking in the organization to check how the transformation is going, if the alignment is what you expect to be, if the outcomes are what you expected them up front? What are some of the things that you may be looking at for checking the health of the transformation?
Well, first and foremost, thank you. That's a great question. And I agree, by the way, I don't think it does ever end. I think it's a continuous cycle of transformation. We look at a number of things, but first and foremost, we're looking for those results for our customers, and we want customers to be delighted and to be able to get value from the work they do with us. So ultimately, it's about whether they meet their objectives. We track that in the form of customer and partner surveys, and we do that on a rolling quarterly basis. And we pay acute attention to the results of those surveys, and we feed that forward into the work program. Second, I mentioned we do the same with our employees. We do that twice a year as well. So we just finished one in the last couple of weeks, and we're now busily digesting the data so that we can again feed it forward into our work program. We did a lot of work to co-create solutions. So we engage a large number of our field sellers and managers in creating the solutions. We We get them engaged in testing, we get them engaged in design, we get them engaged in testing, we get them to poke at it really hard, we do it in a really low ego way, and that way we get solutions that people actually want. And that have been properly road tested when we put them out. I guess the final thing I would say is that I mentioned that we're looking for managers to be able to lead at scale and to have everyone in their team succeed. And what we are increasingly looking at is not just whether a manager can produce one hero result with one person in their team, but whether they can help everyone in their team to take a step forward and to really support them to meet customer objectives. So they would be, I would say, ultimately, of course, it's measured in business results, and we track our transformation back to that. And you would expect us to be heavily dashboarded and measuring things. So we measure a whole gamut of things, but ultimately it's about customer and partner satisfaction, people satisfaction, and then business results, of course.
Terrific. A clear sense of purpose, direction, and alignment in the measurements that you're looking at. Nicola, our time is up, but on behalf of over 2,000 business transformation, operational excellence leaders from around the world across all industries, we're deeply grateful for the generosity of your time to be here with us, to share your impressive insights and experience and expertise with us so openly. We're very, very thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicola Hudson, Global Transformation Leader at Microsoft. What a way to complete the Business Transformation and Operational Excellence World Summit 2020, or BTOES from home. We have had a tremendous journey here, starting on day one with the United States Air Force talking about continuous improvement and innovation, stewardship, excellence, innovation. And we have had dozens and dozens of fantastic sessions, not only here on the main stage, but across all the tracks and the forums and all that was going on the other sessions while we're here on the main stage. And of course, all of that is available to you for the next 12 months to access, to review on your own pace. All recorded sessions are going to be available within the app for you. There will be several public press releases related to the award ceremony and the winners of the award ceremony. The content of those winners and finalists is available in the app as well. You have a wealth of information given to you by the very kind sponsorship that we have had for this event. And I would be remiss if I do not say a big thank you to our platinum sponsors who are able to bring all of this to you at a global scale. Thousands of participants joining in and connecting to each other, connecting with vendors, connecting with experts in the industry. And a big thank you to Booz Allen Hamilton, to IBM, Celonis, Nintex, Signavio, The Thought Exchange, Blueprint, and Finnair. We could not have done this without their platinum level support and make this accessible to so many from around the world. I hope that the dialogues that we have had here, the insights that were shared, were as helpful to you as they were to me. I have been doing this for decades, and every time I get with groups like this, I'm both inspired, but also intentionally focused on what needs to be done next. So our journey now is to gather this new knowledge, these new insights, and apply them to what we do in our organizations, in our lives, to create value for society, to create value for our organizations, to create personal value as well in our own journey of continuous improvement, innovation, and growth. So without further ado, let me just say a big thank you for all of you to be part of this community, for all of you to be with us at BTOES. I want to say a big thank you to the CEO of BTOES, Vijay Bajaj, for making this happen with all that's going on in 2020 and all the challenges that were thrusted upon us. Still managed to do this world-class event virtually and bring the best possible experience to you directly. Of course, there were issues here and there, but that is part of the journey of continuous improvement and innovation, and we're going to learn from them, and that's going to make us better, not only for the virtual events that we're going to continue to do in 2021, and you have to be looking for those coming up right in the first quarter of 2021 and carrying on throughout the year. We're going to have amazing virtual experiences covering exponential technologies, RPA, machine learning, AI, intelligent automation, hyper automation, process mining. Stay on the lookout for all those wonderful sessions on exponential technologies, but also excellence and innovation acceleration, also culture, business, and digital transformation. End-to-end business transformation and operational excellence for us for 2021 through the virtual events that will be offered. Stay tuned, stay connected on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn, follow BTOES on LinkedIn, find out what's going on. The world will continue to progress. We will very much look forward to also have a 2021 BTOES event in person. But we all had plans and life happened. And there are only two types of people who predict the future: those who don't know and those who don't know that they don't know. So what we do here is that we create the future. So let's create the future for 2021, no matter what happens, virtually, in person, blended, we'll be together. And we'll advance this great collaboration together, because if we're going to go for extraordinary, it's more fun when we do that together. So thank you again for all your attention, for all your insights, for your collaboration, for your openness throughout the event. And let's stay connected. This, like any transformation, is not just an event. This is part of the journey. So let's keep on the journey together. On behalf of the entire BTOES team, I want to thank everyone for spending that time here with us. Thank you very much.